On July 22, 2025, the New Orleans Saints announced Jimmy Graham would sign a one-day contract to retire with the team that launched his NFL journey. For fans, it was a moment to reflect on a career that electrified the Crescent City and changed the tight end position forever. Graham's journey took him across the league, but his heart always belonged to New Orleans. The announcement wasn't just a formality, it was a homecoming, a final salute to a player who became a Saints legend. The Saints honored him not just for his stats, but for the unforgettable moments and passion he brought to the field. For the fan base, it was closure, a final play call for number 80, ending a story that began with a leap of faith and finished with a legacy. Jimmy Graham retires, forever a Saint. Before football, Jimmy Graham was a standout power forward at the University of Miami, where he made a name for himself on the hardwood. His imposing 6'7" frame and wingspan made him a force to be reckoned with, and he quickly became known for his physicality and presence in the paint. Graham's journey, however, was anything but ordinary. He dominated the basketball court with his size and leaping ability, often out-muscling opponents for rebounds and throwing down thunderous dunks that electrified the crowd. His athleticism was undeniable, but few could have predicted the path he was about to take. After 4 years of basketball, Graham made a bold decision. He would try his hand at college football, despite having played only 1 year in high school. It was a massive gamble, betting on his raw athleticism and determination to carry him through a completely different sport. He joined the Miami Hurricanes football team for a single season, eager to prove himself all over again. That single season was all it took to catch the NFL's eye. Scouts were amazed by his rare combination of size, speed, and agility, traits that made him a unique prospect at tight end. His highlight reel catches and ability to outjump defenders quickly put him on the radar of pro teams. The New Orleans Saints, led by the innovative Sean Payton and superstar quarterback Drew Brees, saw not just a project, but a potential game-changer. They envisioned a player who could stretch defenses and create mismatches all over the field. In the 2010 NFL Draft, the Saints took a chance on Graham in the 3rd round, a pick that would soon redefine their franchise. For Graham, it was the start of a new chapter, filled with uncertainty, but also immense opportunity. The transition from basketball to football was anything but easy. Graham faced a steep learning curve, but his relentless work ethic and unique skill set him apart from the very beginning. He spent countless hours in the gym and on the practice field, determined to master the nuances of his new position. He quickly learned to translate his basketball skills, boxing out defenders, leaping for rebounds, using his body to shield opponents, into football, becoming a matchup nightmare for linebackers and safeties alike. His background gave him an edge that few could match. By his 2nd year, Graham exploded onto the scene as Brees' favorite target, racking up touchdowns and highlight plays. Defenses struggled to contain him, and he quickly became one of the league's most dynamic offensive weapons. The Saints' gamble paid off spectacularly, as Graham helped transform their offense into one of the NFL's most feared units. Fans in New Orleans embraced their new star, and the city buzzed with excitement every time he took the field. The basketball player from Miami was now one of the NFL's most feared offensive weapons, redefining what it meant to play tight end and inspiring a new generation of athletes to follow in his footsteps. A new star was born in New Orleans, and Jimmy Graham's unlikely journey was just getting started. The partnership between Jimmy Graham and Drew Brees was electric. Talent, timing, and trust in perfect harmony. When these two stepped onto the field together, it was as if the Saints' offense gained a new dimension. Brees' pinpoint accuracy and quick decision-making paired perfectly with Graham's athleticism and ability to create mismatches all over the field. Their chemistry was evident not just in the big moments, but in the subtle glances and unspoken understanding that only the best duos share. Graham's 6'7" frame and leaping ability made him Brees' ultimate weapon, especially in the red zone. Defenders often looked helpless as Graham soared above them, snatching passes out of the air with ease. His basketball background gave him an edge, allowing him to box out defenders and time his jumps perfectly, making him nearly impossible to cover one-on-one. From 2010 to 2014, Graham racked up 386 catches, 4,752 yards, and 51 touchdowns, numbers unheard of for a tight end. He didn't just break records, he shattered expectations for what the position could be. Week after week, Graham delivered highlight reel plays, becoming a nightmare for defensive coordinators and a favorite target for Breeze. Defenses knew the ball was coming his way, but stopping him was another matter. Double teams, bracket coverage, and physical play rarely slowed him down. Graham's size, speed, and hands made him a matchup problem that few teams could solve, forcing opponents to rethink their entire defensive strategy. His 2011 season, 99 catches, 1,310 yards, 11 touchdowns, set a new standard for the position. That year, he was not just the best tight end in the league, but one of the most dominant offensive players, period. His performances helped redefine what teams expected from tight ends, inspiring a new generation of athletes. In 2013, he led the league with 16 receiving touchdowns, cementing his status as a matchup nightmare. Defenders simply had no answer for his combination of size, skill, and determination. Every week, Graham seemed to find new ways to get open and make big plays. Graham's signature goalpost dunks became iconic, a nod to his basketball roots and his dominance. Each celebration was a statement. He wasn't just scoring, he was leaving his mark on the game, energizing fans and teammates alike. His presence forced defenses to adapt, opening up the Saints' offense for everyone. With Graham drawing so much attention, other receivers found more space, and the running game benefited as well. He was the ultimate catalyst, making everyone around him better. The Breeze-Graham connection became one of the most prolific duos in NFL history. Their highlight reels are filled with jaw-dropping plays, clutch moments, and a sense of joy that made watching the Saints must-see TV. Together, they built a legacy that thrilled New Orleans and changed the game. Their impact is still felt today, as tight ends across the league strive to match the standard they set, and Saints fans remember those years as a golden era of football in the Crescent City. In 2015, Jimmy Graham was traded to the Seattle Seahawks, marking a major shift in his career after years of starring in New Orleans' dynamic, pass-heavy offense. The move was headline news, as Graham was one of the league's most dominant tight ends at the time, and expectations were sky-high for his impact in Seattle. In Seattle, Graham had to adjust to a run-first system that relied less on the passing game. While his overall targets dropped, he quickly became a go-to weapon in the red zone, using his size and athleticism to create mismatches. Over 3 seasons, he hauled in 18 touchdowns, consistently coming through in clutch moments and helping the Seahawks remain a playoff contender. Graham's time in Seattle wasn't without adversity. A devastating knee injury threatened to derail his career, but his determination and work ethic shone through. He attacked his rehab, returned to the field ahead of schedule, and earned a Pro Bowl selection, proving his resilience and commitment to the game. In 2018, Graham signed with the Green Bay Packers, joining forces with superstar quarterback Aaron Rodgers. In Green Bay, he became a trusted target, especially on third downs and in the red zone, and his veteran presence was invaluable in a young locker room. Though he was no longer the focal point of the offense, Graham made key catches in critical situations and took on a leadership role, mentoring younger teammates and setting an example with his professionalism and preparation. Graham's next chapter took him to the Chicago Bears, where he embraced the role of red zone specialist. In his first season, he caught 8 touchdowns, providing a reliable target for Bears quarterbacks and helping the team's offense finish drives with points. Across 3 teams, Graham adapted his game, contributed in new ways, and became a mentor to younger players, sharing his experience and knowledge of the league. While he didn't match the eye-popping numbers from his New Orleans days, his impact on the field and in the locker room was undeniable. He made big plays when it mattered and earned the respect of teammates and coaches alike. Graham's journey through Seattle, Green Bay, and Chicago showcased not just his athletic ability, but also his professionalism, adaptability, and leadership. He proved he could thrive in any system and make a difference wherever he played. No matter the city or the jersey, Jimmy Graham found ways to elevate his teams, leaving a lasting legacy as a true NFL veteran. Jimmy Graham's career stats are staggering. 719 receptions, 8,545 yards, and 89 touchdowns over 13 seasons. He ranks 4th all-time in touchdown catches among tight ends, trailing only the legends of the game. His ability to find the end zone set him apart, a scoring machine who changed games with a single catch. Graham's rapid rise from raw rookie to all-time great was unprecedented. His peak years in New Orleans rivaled the best wide receivers, not just tight ends. Even after leaving the Saints, he remained a red zone threat for 3 different teams. His numbers tell the story of a player who overcame inexperience to become one of the most prolific pass catchers of his generation. Graham's stats are more than numbers. They're a testament to his dominance and longevity. Jimmy Graham revolutionized the tight end position, bringing a basketball player's skill set to the gridiron. His height, leaping ability, and body control created mismatches defenses couldn't solve. In the red zone, he turned jump balls into art, forcing teams to double-team him and opening up the field for others. Graham's success sparked a league-wide search for similar hybrid athletes. He changed how tight ends are scouted, valued, and used in modern offenses. Today's pass-catching tight ends owe much to the blueprint Graham created. He broke the mold, forever changing the position. In 2023, Jimmy Graham returned to the Saints for a final season, a full-circle moment for player and franchise. No longer the explosive young star, he brought veteran leadership and a knack for finding the end zone. In 13 games, he caught 6 passes, 4 for touchdowns, reminding fans of his red zone magic. Every score was a celebration, a hero's welcome in the Superdome. Graham mentored younger players, sharing wisdom from a decade in the league. His presence inspired a team in transition and connected the past to the present. Signing a one-day contract in 2025 to retire as a Saint was the perfect ending. His final season was a victory lap, a chance for fans and Graham to share one last dance. He finished where it all began, forever a part of New Orleans history. Retirement didn't slow Jimmy Graham. He sought new challenges beyond football. In 2025, he joined a 4-person crew to row across the Arctic Ocean, facing brutal conditions and relentless cold. The journey covered 584 miles of icy water, demanding strength and mental toughness. Graham and his team shattered records, completing the crossing in just over 10 days, a new world record. The feat showcased his relentless drive and adaptability. No longer just a football star, Graham became a world-class adventurer. His Arctic expedition proved his greatness extended far beyond the gridiron. Graham's story is one of pushing boundaries, on and off the field. Jimmy Graham's legacy is that of a pioneer who redefined the tight end position. His basketball-on-grass style changed how teams scout, draft, and use tight ends. Graham's journey, from a challenging childhood to NFL stardom, proved that unconventional paths can lead to greatness. His story inspires, reminding us it's never too late to chase a new dream. Fans loved him for his passion, energy, and the joy he brought to the game. Returning to retire as a Saint cemented his bond with New Orleans. Graham was a statistical giant, a game-changer, and an inspiration. He showed what's possible when talent meets relentless will. Jimmy Graham leaves football as a legend, one who lifted the game to new heights.